I walked into the kitchen, grease still under my nails, smelling like brake fluid and burned coffee. It was after 10, long shift at the shop, and there she was, Amanda, sitting on the counter in silk pajamas, one leg crossed, swirling a wine glass like some smug queen of the damn house. She didn't even say hi, just tilted her head and smiled. "I've been sleeping with Brett," she said, "and a few of your buddies too, Trent, Dylan, Reese." Her voice was calm, like she was reading off a grocery list. I just stared at her. My keys were still in my hand. "Before you start crying about loyalty," she added, "maybe ask yourself why they didn't respect you enough not to." Then she sipped her wine and grinned. "If you can't handle real men, then maybe we're done." I hadn't even said a word yet. My mouth was dry. The fridge hummed behind her. My boots felt like they weighed 100 pounds. "You're sterile and stuck, Jack," she went on, laughing now. "You work late and come home to nothing. You think you're some genius under the hood, but real men, they know how to take charge. You play with cars like they're action figures." Quick note, before we go further, share which city or country you're watching from. I should have flipped the damn table, but I didn't. Instead, I set the keys on the counter, looked her dead in the eye and said, "As you wish." Her smile faltered, just for a second. Then she shrugged and took another sip like she'd won. That night, she went upstairs and passed out with her phone unlocked on the bed next to her. Notifications lit up her screen like a Christmas tree. Group chats, DMs, stupid memes. I didn't read them all, didn't need to. Instead, I opened my laptop, quiet, methodical. Spreadsheet open, column headers typed, names, dates, places. I started filling in what I already knew. Schedules, habits, the shift rotations at the shop. All three of them. Reese, Dylan, Trent, and Brett, the clown regional manager she now worshipped. I'd been through worse. I'd survived things these idiots couldn't pronounce. Army taught me how to track, organize, stay cold even when you're burning inside. By 3 a.m., I had a working file and a plan. At 5 a.m., I left a note on the fridge that said, "Early shift, don't wait up." I didn't go to the shop. I drove an hour south to the trailer I'd been quietly renting under a dummy LLC name, parked behind a storage lot. Inside was a desk, 3 monitors, and a backup generator, my surveillance hub. I locked the door behind me and fired up the system. The system's loaded, cameras synced, network clean. I opened my Facebook under a burner account and started digging. Amanda wasn't just stupid. She was arrogant, left breadcrumbs everywhere. It didn't take long before I found it. A private messenger group called Stalled Out. 6 members. Amanda, Brett, Trent, Dylan, Reese. One other I didn't recognize. Probably one of Brett's party goons. The messages went back months, maybe longer. First thing I saw was a meme of a half-naked woman standing in front of a lifted truck with a caption that read, "When your girl's husband can't handle torque." Dylan replied with 3 laughing emojis. Reese dropped, "House husbands be like, 'I made lasagna.'" Then Amanda chimed in, "Mine just changes oil and changes subjects." Trent wrote, "He was better when he let me sleep in the basement. At least then I didn't have to fake respect." I leaned back in my chair, fists clenched. I could feel the pulse in my ears. These weren't just betrayals, they were jokes. I was entertainment. Let's start with Trent. 3 years ago, the guy was drowning. Credit cards maxed, his truck got repoed, wife had kicked him out. I let him crash in my basement, no rent, no deadline, just gave him space to get his crap together. Got him a job at the shop, too. He showed up late for 2 months straight. I covered for him. He was in my house, at my table, every night, ate my food, said thanks with a mouthful of steak. He got clean eventually, promoted to service manager, started pulling in a decent salary. I thought he'd made it, thought I'd done the right thing. Meanwhile, he was sleeping with Amanda and calling me a clown behind my back. Then there was Dylan. We used to race together, classic muscle builds, always chasing horsepower, always arguing over paint versus performance. That '69 Camaro we rebuilt, I paid for 60% of it. Let him take credit because he needed the exposure for his YouTube channel. Turns out while we were at car shows showing off the build, he was sneaking into hotel rooms with Amanda. There was even a pic in the chat. Him and Amanda in front of the Camaro, both smiling. The caption from Brett: "Hope she rides better than the suspension." And Amanda had liked it. God. Now Reese, this one cut differently. Reese got pulled over 2 years ago. DUI with a suspended license. He was one charge away from losing his CDL for good. Called me crying at 1 in the morning. I paid off the tow, called in a favor with a friend in dispatch, buried the whole thing. No court, no record, saved his damn job. Since then, he's been driving tow for the shop, acting like my best friend. Every cookout, every shift meeting, always the first to joke about manhood and being the king of your castle. I remember once, he leaned over during Amanda's birthday party and said, "You ever think maybe she needs a real driver?" Thought it was a joke. They were all jokes. This wasn't just cheating. This was organized humiliation. And Brett was the ringleader, regional manager for CarTech USA. Rolled into town like a sleazeball movie villain. Flashy watch, bad teeth, fake charisma. Hosted team-building weekends that turned into party binges. Amanda had been going to those a lot lately. For the brand, she'd said. Turns out the brand was Brett's lower half. In the group, he called her HR Barbie. They'd planned entire weekends just to get Jack's crew laid. They used me, my house, my money, my trust. I scrolled and scrolled, texts, voice notes, photos, inside jokes. The thread was alive and ugly, and they didn't hide it. They celebrated it. And I just sat there, breathing slow, letting it all soak in. Every favor, every time I said yes, every time I trusted one of those bastards. They were in my home, they were with my wife, and now I was in control. I saved every screenshot, downloaded every file, time-stamped, tagged, sorted. I already knew where Trent kept his service laptop. I knew Reese's truck had GPS tracking through the shop's fleet app. Dylan's Camaro had a digital dash cam tied to the cloud. They gave me everything I needed years ago. All I had to do was pay attention. I closed the chat window, then I picked up my phone and texted Mel. "Got something big. You in?" Her reply came fast. "How illegal?" I typed. "Gray, not black, and clean. You'll be covered." "Fine. What's the play?" I grinned. This wasn't revenge. This was accounting. I closed the chat with Mel and opened the blueprint folder I'd kept buried since the Army. 10 years ago, I ran logistics in Kandahar. We tracked everything: supplies, movement, personnel, using layered surveillance tools and good old-fashioned paranoia. It wasn't just about watching. It was about knowing patterns, pressure points, and timing. Now, I was back in that mindset. First thing I did was drop 3 pinhole cameras in the house, 1 in the kitchen light fixture, 1 in the hallway smoke detector, 1 in the bedroom curtain rod, all synced to a private cloud with time-stamped backups. I'd installed a backup battery in the crawl space 2 months ago, just in case. Now it was live. Garage was easier. I already had motion sensors and a Nest Cam for insurance reasons. No one ever questioned it. I just rewired the feed so I could watch in real time from the trailer. Reese's tow truck was next. He thought the fleet GPS was just a basic location tracker, but I'd set up the system myself. Still had back-end access. I downloaded 6 months of movement logs, fuel receipts, and parking history. Mapped it all in one night. Most of it was boring. Tow jobs, late-night food stops, shop runs. But one recurring address kept popping up. A motel off I-90. Same time slot every Tuesday. Amanda had yoga then. Right. I copied the GPS data to my encrypted drive. Then came Amanda's tablet. She used it mostly for scheduling and branding. Instagram, Pinterest boards, Amazon carts filled with crap we didn't need. What she didn't know was that her iCloud backups were linked to an old shared account from back when we first got married. I used an Army tool called Shadow Sync, meant for recovering corrupt supply chains, and cloned the entire tablet to a clean partition. Now, I could see every file, every message, every update in real time without her knowing. That night at dinner, she was back on her usual high horse, hair curled, phone in hand, wine glass full. "You know Brett and I are doing this wellness thing next month," she said, stabbing her salad like it owed her money. "It's a corporate branding play, health awareness, testosterone education. Men's hormones are trending, apparently. I nodded, pretending to care. Sounds useful. Oh, it's huge, she went on, flashing her fake influencer grin. We're calling it Built Not Broken. Catchy, right? There'll be screenings, blood pressure checks, body fat scans. All about showing men how to take control of their health and image. Brett wants news coverage. You involved? She smirked. I'm running the whole thing. He trusts me. Said I'm the only one who gets the vision. It's a lifestyle campaign, Jack, not some mechanic's health fair. You should come. I almost laughed. She was handing me the launch pad. Later that week, I met up with Mel behind the urgent care clinic she worked at now. Same tired building off East 55th. Always smelled like hand sanitizer and burnt toast. We hadn't seen each other in years, but when she spotted me, she pulled me into a hug. Still look like someone's about to die around you, she said. You owe me, Mel. Yeah, I know. Medical debt and the IRS. You saved my ass. I laid out the plan. Nothing illegal, just tight. Real screenings, real staff, real data. But I'd handle all the setup, registration forms, and documentation. Just needed her clinic's name and a couple licensed staff to run the event under the table. I want to flag patterns, I told her. Legit metrics, nothing false, just enough to raise eyebrows. You good? She blew out a breath. So long as no one ends up dead or sued, I'll run it. Appreciate it. After that, I move fast. I registered Tally Tech LLC as a subcontractor for event logistics, rented a mobile RV unit under the business name, and parked it in a fenced lot behind the garage. Set up satellite internet, secured the door, soundproofed the walls, built a mini lab with a command center feel. No one asked questions. In this town, if you mind your own business and look busy, people leave you alone. The trap was almost ready. The banner outside Trent's Auto Shop read, Built Not Broken, Men's Wellness and Performance Day. I had to hand it to Brett. For a guy built like a boiled sausage, he knew how to dress up garbage with enough polish to fool a camera crew. There were PR tents, water stations, branded energy drinks, and a DJ booth blasting some recycled top 40 nonsense. 2 fitness models in tight shirts walked around handing out flyers, like this was a CrossFit revival. Local news van parked right across the street. I even saw a drone flying overhead for social media footage. Amanda was everywhere. Ring light in one hand, phone in the other, snapping shots of herself, managing logistics she didn't lift a finger to set up. She wore white leggings and a cropped branded tee tied at the waist like a teenager. Every 5 seconds she was fake laughing into someone's face. No one called her out. She had that influencer confidence that only works if nobody knows you're a fraud. Meanwhile, I kept to the background. Clipboard in hand, headset on, walking between booths, checking boxes, loading gear. Just a tech guy, just some contractor with no real face or name. No one looked twice. Dylan pulled up first in that stupid '69 Camaro we built together. He parked it sideways across 2 spots like he was starring in a Fast and Furious spin-off no one asked for. Reese followed in his flatbed tow truck, window down, shouting, "The strong survive, baby!" to nobody in particular. Then Trent came out of the shop, all puffed up in a branded polo shirt 2 sizes too small. Brett rolled in late in a leased Dodge Durango with corporate plates. He didn't even look at the crowd, just strutted in like he'd personally invented testosterone. They all played it up for the cameras. High fives, flexing, shouting about man health. One of them even yelled, "Real men don't flinch at needles." Mel's team was already inside, running screenings. 2 nurses from her clinic, both underpaid and over it, sat behind folding tables taking vitals and passing out wellness surveys. Basic stuff. Blood pressure, cholesterol, hormone panels, real tests, all legal. But I'd flag certain survey questions and push them to the top. Sleep issues, mood swings, cardiovascular symptoms, anything vague enough to sound scary with the right tone. And they filled out everything: names, addresses, date of birth, emergency contacts, voluntarily, publicly, on camera. Amanda even volunteered for testing. "Branding matters," she said, posing next to the nurse like she was selling teeth-whitening strips. While she got her blood drawn, I slipped over to the table where Brett left his branded shaker bottle. Picked it up with a latex glove, bagged it, sweat and prints. Same with Reese's Monster can and Dylan's metal flask. They were so hyped up on the spotlight, they didn't even notice me walking off with their garbage. I logged every sample by ID code, labeled them with their real names. Mel had agreed. Everything would be logged and handled as real medical data. No fakery, no tampering, just the facts. Let paranoia do the rest. Midway through the event, Amanda pulled me aside. "You're really good at this," she said, smiling like nothing was broken between us. "Brett's already talking about making this a regional thing. I might get a promotion out of it." I nodded. "Sounds big." She touched my arm. "Thanks for supporting me. I know I've been difficult lately." That was the moment. I could have spit the truth in her face, told her I'd seen everything, that I knew about every lie, every night, every message. Instead, I looked at her and said, "You look happy." She blinked like she didn't expect that, then smiled again and walked back toward the cameras. That fake smile was about to be the last thing she held on to. As the event wrapped up, Brett gave a little speech under the tent, talking about male longevity and being proactive with your health. People clapped, some cheered, local news caught every word. I clapped too, just enough. Then I walked back to the RV, locked the door behind me, and started uploading everything. Test data, consent forms, fingerprints, digital records, every piece in place. By the next morning, Mel had queued the calls exactly as planned. First one went to Trent. She kept it tight. No lies, just concern. "Hi, Trent. We noticed some irregular cardiac markers in your panel. Nothing definitive, but you should follow up with your primary care provider. Chest tightness, dizziness, fatigue, those symptoms can't be ignored." She didn't need to say anything more. He filled in the rest. That same afternoon, he called off work and told the shop crew he had a family emergency. I knew better. I saw him pacing in the break room through the garage cam, Googling sudden heart failure in men under 40. Dylan dropped next, mid-race tune-up at the speedway, full caffeine and ego. Word was, he stumbled out of the car, clutching his chest, and hit the gravel. EMTs said his vitals were normal, but he insisted something was off. Tightness in his arms, shortness of breath. They ran tests. Nothing came back. Still, he posted on Facebook that night. "Life comes at you fast. Health first. Racing second." I screenshotted it. Priceless. Then came Reese. He was towing a Chrysler off I-77 when he pulled over mid-job and called dispatch. Said he felt lightheaded and couldn't grip the steering wheel right. Cited low blood sugar, but went straight to urgent care. The clinic logged his visit, same one Amanda used. I had the report before he even got his wristband. That afternoon, I watched the footage from the RV, chewing sunflower seeds, watching these guys spiral, not because I touched them, but because I didn't. That's what made it beautiful. Mel kept it clean. Everything we did was legal, documented, medically valid. Just emphasized the worst-case possibilities without pointing fingers. The imagination is always the real killer. Then Brett cracked. I saw the call on the clinic log. They told him about hormone imbalance and slightly elevated cortisol. He went silent for 12 seconds. Then asked, "Could this impact sexual performance?" Mel's nurse said, "It's possible, depending on other variables." That's all it took. He bailed on a regional Zoom meeting halfway through, logged off mid-sentence. The company line was that he'd lost signal. The reality? He drove across town to a concierge clinic with marble floors and a $500 intake fee. Didn't even wait for test results. Just told them, "Run everything. I want full hormone mapping and cardiac screening." I'd expected stress. I hadn't expected that kind of panic. But the best part? Amanda. That night, she stood in the kitchen pouring tea, staring at her phone like it might slap her. She looked up at me and said, "Something's going on." I raised a brow. "With what?" "Everyone's getting sick, Jack. Brett, Trent, Dylan, Reese. Weird stuff, chest pain, dizzy spells, hormone issues, and I volunteered at the same event." "Maybe it's coincidence," I said, pouring myself a drink. "What if it's not? What if it's something contagious?" Her voice cracked. "I'm serious. I've been feeling off too. I think I should get checked." "Then let's go." She blinked. "You'll come with me?" I nodded, calm as ever. Of course. She didn't realize she was walking into her own web, and I didn't need to push. She'd already convinced herself the sky was falling. The ER lobby smelled like bleach and overcooked fries. Fluorescent lights flickered above, buzzing like angry flies. Amanda sat next to me, fingers laced through mine, like we were still some happy couple out for a routine checkup. I hadn't said much since we checked in, just filled out her forms, nodded when asked, then the door opened. In walked Reese. He froze when he saw us. Eyes locked on mine for a second too long, then darted away. He took a seat across the room like we were strangers. A minute later, Dylan came in, holding his left arm like it might fall off. He noticed Reese, gave a weak wave, then spotted me and Amanda and went pale. "Is this a damn joke?" he muttered, but no one answered. Trent walked in next, head down, hoodie up, breathing hard like he'd run a mile, didn't even look around, sat in the corner, hands clasped tight like he was praying. And then, Brett. Pressed slacks, designer shoes, carrying a folder under his arm like he was walking into a board meeting. He stopped in the doorway when he saw the whole crew sitting there. I watched his jaw tighten. His eyes bounced from Dylan to Reese to Trent to Amanda, and finally to me. He didn't say a word. Just took a seat at the far wall and stared straight ahead. Amanda leaned in and whispered, "What is going on? Why is everyone here?" I kept my voice flat. "Guess we're all just being cautious." She looked around again, squeezing my hand tighter. "This isn't normal. Why does everyone look so scared?" No one spoke, no one even moved. Then the door to the back opened, and in walked Dr. Simons, older guy, military cut, clipboard in hand. He scanned the room and nodded. "Jack Talley?" he called. I stood. Amanda stood with me, still holding my hand, but Dr. Simons didn't lead us away. Instead, he cleared his throat and said, loud enough for the entire room to hear, "I want to speak to all of you together. Come with me." Nobody argued. One by one, we filed into a side room, small, cold, no windows, chairs in a circle. The air felt like static. Dr. Simons stood in the middle, calm, professional. "I've reviewed your screening results," he began, "and while I can't go into individual details right now, what I can say is this. There are overlapping anomalies in your blood work, multiple cases, hormonal markers, stress enzymes, possible immunotriggers. That sort of pattern raises red flags." Silence. "Red flags for what?" Brett snapped, arms crossed. Dr. Simons didn't blink. "We don't have a diagnosis yet, but due to the consistency across unrelated individuals, we're required to ask a few direct questions. Has there been any shared exposure, unusual contact, and most importantly, any overlap in sexual partners?" Amanda let go of my hand. Reese looked at his shoes. Dylan swallowed hard. Trent looked like he was about to puke. Then Dr. Simons dropped the hammer. "We're moving forward under the assumption this may be transmissible. To stay compliant with state regulations, we'll need to contact all known sexual partners for further testing." The room froze. Amanda's mouth dropped open. What?" Trent swayed forward and caught himself on the chair. Dylan whispered, "Jesus!" Brett stood up so fast his chair scraped the tile. "This is insane. I want my lawyer." Dr. Simons nodded calmly. "Of course. You're all free to leave, but we are obligated to begin documentation and notification. If there's been overlap, it's in your best interest to cooperate." Brett stormed out. Reese followed, mumbling something under his breath. Dylan trailed him, stiff and silent. Trent didn't move, just sat there like his whole life had been erased. Amanda turned to me, white as a ghost. "Jack, what's happening?" I looked at her, really looked, and said nothing. She wasn't ready for that silence. None of them were. I didn't say a damn thing on the ride home. Amanda sat stiff in the passenger seat, chewing her lip and checking her phone every 20 seconds like answers might text themselves. The next morning, I woke up early, made coffee, and opened a private browser window. Typed up a clean, anonymous tip to a local Cleveland auto blog that covered everything from custom builds to garage gossip. I didn't need to lie. I just wrote the facts. A group of high-profile local mechanics and influencers were seen entering the ER together after a men's health event at Tally Auto. Witnesses report tension, urgency, and involvement from a regional rep of a national auto brand. Sources claim the group was tested for possible communicable conditions. No names confirmed yet, but several are known faces in the local car and influencer scene. I attached no files, no names, no drama, just bait. By noon, the blog ran it front and center. Wellness wreck, mystery illness, rocks local auto circle. It caught like gasoline. Trent's shop got hit first. A dozen comments popped up on their Google listing asking if it was safe for women to get service there. Someone resurfaced a 3-year-old Yelp review from a woman who claimed he made gross jokes and stared down her shirt during an oil change. Suddenly, it didn't look like an isolated complaint. Within 48 hours, every female client vanished from the schedule. His 2 techs walked off the job. He posted a sweaty selfie in front of the garage saying, "We're open and stronger than ever," but the parking lot was empty. Then Dylan's Car Club dropped the hammer. They issued a 1-sentence statement on their Facebook page. Dylan Carter has been removed from the roster due to ongoing reputation concerns. His parts sponsors followed. Fast Tune, Torque Lab, even that LED light company he used to tag in every damn post, gone. No calls, just cold silence and pulled logos. I saw him live stream that night, face tight, hair messed up, muttering something about people making assumptions and this is all a misunderstanding. His comments were locked. Viewers dipped under 200. Nobody bought it. Reese got clipped by the city. The Cleveland Tow and Recovery contract had a clause for reputational impact. Someone at City Hall flagged the blog story, and his name got tied in. Suspension pending investigation. He went full rage mode online, called it woke targeting, and threatened lawsuits. His dispatcher sent out a text 2 hours later. "You're off the rotation until further notice." He hasn't towed a mile since. And Brett? Corporate put him on leave. Officially, it was for medical clarification, but internally, the whisper trail lit up. HR got looped in. Someone started asking questions about past retreats. Rumors spread fast. Drinks, pills, backroom hookups. Amanda's name came up more than once. By the end of the week, someone on LinkedIn noticed his title was quietly removed. Brett went dark, deleted Instagram, changed his number. The guy went from cocky regional boss to digital ghost in less than 5 days. But Amanda? That hit was personal. Her follower count bled out like a stab wound. Thousands gone overnight. Someone dug through the ER blog post and connected the dots. Photos of her at the event. Then footage of her entering the hospital next to 4 men she was rumored to be collaborating with. Then a rival YouTuber, a petty fashion vlogger she once mocked, posted a breakdown video titled, "She's Not Sick, She's Just Caught." 500,000 views in 2 days. Amanda stormed through the house, flinging her phone on the couch, yelling about jealous haters and manufactured drama. She begged me to help her fix it, to make a statement, to clarify the facts. I just sipped my coffee. Every lie she built her little world on had come home to collapse. One night I walked past the bedroom and saw her watching her own YouTube channel. Comments turned off, likes disabled, views frozen. She whispered to herself, "It's not fair." I didn't bother responding. Fair left the building the moment she invited the whole damn garage into our bed. The envelope showed up on the kitchen table 2 days later, like it had just walked in and made itself at home. Amanda didn't even bother hiding it. She just dropped the divorce papers next to my coffee and said, "I think it's best we move on like adults." I didn't look up, just nodded once. She'd filed first. Probably thought that meant she had the upper hand. Her petition said she wanted the house, 50% of future business earnings, and what she called appropriate lifestyle support, since I'd supposedly wasted her best years. No mention of the affair, no acknowledgement of the fallout, just cold, clean paperwork, like I was some underperforming job she was finally quitting. She thought I was broke. She thought she was getting out ahead. She had no idea. The meeting was set for Thursday morning at a downtown office suite. Glass walls, leather chairs, fake smiles. She walked in wearing a blazer 2 sizes too tight and those ridiculous heels she only used for power moves. Her lawyer looked like he'd just passed the bar last week and still believed in fairy tales. I brought Miss Katz, short gray hair, glasses on a chain, absolutely zero patience for drama. She didn't shake hands, just opened her folder and went straight to war. "Let's begin," she said, voice flat. "My client, Mr. Talley, wishes to finalize the divorce amicably. He has no interest in your client's business or personal property. He simply wants this concluded." Amanda smirked. "Because he has nothing." Katz didn't even blink. "On the contrary." She pulled out a thick packet of documents, property ledgers, investment breakdowns, dated spreadsheets. "Jack's current net worth is approximately $2.8 million, primarily in rare car restorations, silent patents, and premarital investments, all secured before your marriage and all thoroughly documented." Amanda's face twitched. Her lawyer leaned forward, already sweating. "Excuse me, he's claiming full ownership of assets acquired before the marriage," Katz cut in. "Yes, and your client will see they were all legally documented under Talley Holdings LLC since year one. No commingling of assets, no joint ownership, not even a shared bank account." Amanda's mouth opened, then shut again. "And there's more," Katz continued, sliding over a second folder. "Your client is currently sitting on nearly $65,000 in unpaid business credit card debt. She also has several years of unreported brand partnership income from influencer work, which we've tracked via affiliate links, merchandise sales, and PayPal logs." Amanda's voice cracked. "Those weren't even reported to the IRS?" Katz asked. "Correct. We've already prepared an anonymous filing. However, we're willing to retract that notice if your client agrees to a clean split. No claim to assets, no alimony, no support, and no pursuit of the house. She can keep her personal belongings. That's all." "You can't do this," Amanda said, almost laughing now. "You're bluffing." "He has no right." Katz shut the folder. "You've already filed," she said calmly. "And now we've responded. This meeting is your only chance to walk away without dragging it into court and risking a federal audit." Amanda stared at me like I'd set her on fire. "You planned this," she whispered. "The whole thing." I didn't say a word. "You let me file first," she said. "You wanted this to go public. You let me burn." I finally looked her in the eye. "I didn't let anything. I just stopped saving you." She turned to her lawyer, face twisted, voice shaking. "Can you fix this?" He looked like he wanted to be anywhere else. Katz slid the final page across the table. "Sign here, or we move forward with discovery. Your call." Amanda stared at the pen for a full 30 seconds. Then she broke, shoulders slumped, hand trembling. She picked it up and scribbled her name like it tasted bitter. I signed after her, smooth, calm, done. Katz collected the papers and nodded. "Pleasure doing business." I stood, buttoned my jacket, and walked out without looking back. Let her sit in that quiet. Let her feel what it's like to lose something without even knowing what it was worth. The steel roll-up door let out its usual groan as I pulled it shut for the night. The sign above read, "Talley Performance Group Custom. Clean. American Muscle." 6 months ago, I slept in a trailer behind the garage. Now I lived upstairs in a loft I built with my own hands. Open floor plan, concrete counters, no one else's crap in the fridge. It was mine. All of it. Amanda still texted, still called, still left voicemails like nothing ever happened. "Jack, I'm sorry. I wasn't myself. Can we talk?" Just once. Everything spiraled. I didn't mean for it to go that far. I never responded, just hit delete and moved on. Trent shut down his shop. Some kid on TikTok filmed the bank padlocking the door and posted it with the caption, "When the boss can't fix his own mess." Dylan took down his car channel. Sponsors dropped him, clubs banned him, and I heard he's working part-time at a tire shop in Parma. Reese's truck sits on blocks behind a warehouse off Lorraine. He filed a lawsuit against the city. It didn't go anywhere. And Brett, his company imploded. Turns out that testosterone awareness campaign triggered a corporate audit. HR buried half his emails. The rest leaked. Lawsuits followed. That whole region of the company got dissolved. Brett vanished. Nobody called to apologize. Didn't matter. Because I wasn't looking for closure, I was building something better. Dana showed up during the fallout. Auto journalist. Worked freelance for a performance magazine. She emailed me with questions about the wellness event and wanted to confirm a few blog rumors. Her questions were smart, sharp, no fluff. I gave her answers. She gave me coffee. One thing led to another. Now she's the only one I actually trust in my shop after hours. She gets it. The grease, the grind, the quiet satisfaction of making something run better than it did before. Loyalty wasn't my mistake, just who I gave it to. I hit the lights and stepped outside, the sky bleeding orange behind the skyline. Engine noises echoed from the test strip behind the shop. Another build nearly finished, another start. I didn't ruin anyone, didn't throw punches or send threats. I didn't need to. I just handed everyone the mirror and let them see what they'd done to themselves.